Hey dear, have you ever wondered the importance of languages? Almost every human being communicates with the help of a language. Just like us, computers also have a language to communicate. A programmer writes certain instructions. The computer follows it in order to achieve a specific task. So here, in order to design a circuit, we are going to use the language 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲. In the previous sessions, we designed circuits for smart home and traffic light system using block coding. But in today's session, we are going to learn something new. We are going to design our circuits using text coding. In text coding, there are certain syntaxes in order to read the input or output and to define the input and output. But don't worry dear, you will learn about all these things in today's session. But before that, let's have a quick recap of the previous session. In the previous session, we tried to turn the LED on and off using Arduino with the help of block coding. And we also made different patterns to turn the LED on and off. But in today's session, we are not going to use block coding, but we are going to use text coding. In today's session, let's try to turn the LED on using text coding. Well dear, you look really excited. So without any delay, let's get on with it. So dear, let's start simply. How about we first design a circuit to turn an LED on or off and even make it blink? For that, go to the component library and search for Arduino. Drag and drop an Arduino to the workspace. Then search and select an LED from the component library and place it here. Click on LED and change the name of LED to LED1. Now, let's make some connections. So change the Y color to red and connect the anode of LED1 to pin D6 of the Arduino. Then change Y color to black. And then connect the cathode of LED1 to the pin D7. Now let's turn the LED on using text coding. For this, click on codes and you will see some codes are already present by default. Just remove them. Then select blocks and click on text. Then click continue. So this is the space for us to do text coding. Here there are some text codes which we don't require. So erase the selected text code by selecting and deleting. Now you can see two text code and some brackets, right? Void setup and void loop. Let's understand what is meant by these codes. Just below the void setup, you can see curly brackets. Our various codes have to be written mostly within that space. We have to write the text codes in these curly brackets. In the void setup, we can define the analog and digital pins of the Arduino. That is, they can be set to input or output. Just like how you need to prepare whenever you have an exam. You need to make sure you know what you are studying so that you can score marks. So before we tell our codes what action we want, we need to prepare the code. This means telling which pin is for input, which is for output, and so on. Now you might be wondering what is the purpose of the void loop. This is the main part. The codes to be run or executed will be written in the void loop. That is, if the digital pins of the Arduino has to be set to high or low, it will be written in the void loop. So now we need to understand about void setup and void loop. First, let's write the codes in the void setup. Here, we need to turn on the LED using the digital pin 6 and 7 of the Arduino. So we have to define the digital pin 6 and 7 as output pins. Before writing the code, increase the size of the text coding space by clicking and dragging the border of the text code space. Now inside the curly brackets of the void setup, type the syntax pin mode, within brackets type 6 output. Make sure that the letter M in the pin mode and output is in capital letters. Here we have defined the digital pin 6 as the output pin. After writing each code, make sure you put a semicolon. Now let's define the digital pin 7 also as the output pin. Press enter and move to the next line. Align the cursor, then type pin mode within brackets 7, output. Here we have defined the digital pin 7 as the output pin. Then put a semicolon. To turn the LED on, we know that the digital pin D6 has to be set to high and digital pin D7 has to be set to low. This is a function. So we have to write codes to execute this function in the void loop. Inside the curly brackets of the void loop, type the syntax digital write within brackets 6, high. Make sure that the letter W in digital write and high is in capital letters. Then put a semicolon. Now we need to set digital pin 7 to low. Press enter and move on to the next line. Align the cursor. Then type the syntax digital write within brackets 7, low. Make sure that the letter W in digital write and low is in capital letters. Then put a semicolon. While typing the codes, make sure you don't miss curly brackets or semicolons or capital letters. Otherwise, the codes will not be executed and will be shown as an error. Now dear, click on Start Simulation. Wow, the LED turns on. Great job, buddy. Now let's stop the simulation. Now we can also write codes to turn the LED off. I hope you remember the conditions to turn the LED off. Yes, the digital pin 6 has to be set to low. So just erase the code high in the code line 10 and type low. Click on Start Simulation and you can see that the LED is off. Click on Stop Simulation. Now dear, let's try to make the LED blink. That is, turn the LED on and off. Don't you think that would be interesting to see? So here erase low and type high in code line 10. This is the code to turn the LED on. Now we need to make the LED off. But before that, we need to apply a delay to give enough time for our eyes to capture the turn on and off of the LED. So go to line 11 and press enter. Then align the cursor. Let's type the syntax delay within brackets 1000 and then put a semicolon. Here 1000 stands for 1000 milliseconds. That is 1 second. Now just select all these text codes from line 10 to 12. Right click and select copy. Then move to the next line. Align the cursor and paste it. To turn the LED off, the digital pins has to be set low. So here in line 13, we can erase high and then type low. Now click on Start Simulation. And yes, the LED blinks. So now stop the simulation. Now let's try to set a different color pattern with 3 LEDs, like those festive lights we see. First of all, click the code button to hide the code space. Then drag and drop another LED from the component library. Change the name of the LED to LED2 and switch the color to blue. Change the Y color to red and connect the anode of LED2 to pin D8. Then change the Y color to black and connect the cathode of LED2 to pin D9. Finally, drag and drop the third LED from the component library. Change the name of LED to LED3. and switch the color to green. Change the Y color to red and connect the anode of LED 3 to pin D11. Then change the Y color to black and connect the cathode of LED 3 to pin D12. Now let's do coding to turn the LEDs on and off in a beautiful pattern. Click on Code. Here we have already done the coding to turn the first LED. LED 1 on and off. Now let's do coding to turn the LED 2 and LED 3 on and off. One thing you need to keep in mind. Here we have only defined digital pin 6 and 7 as output pins. Now we also need to define the digital pins connected to LED 2 and LED 3 as output pins. Just copy these two codes and paste it below. Then erase 6 and type 8. Then erase 7 and type 9. Now we have defined the digital pins D8 and D9 as output pins. Go to the next line, align the cursor and then paste the codes one more time. Erase 6 and then type 11. Then erase 7 and type 12. So now we have defined the digital pins D11 and D12 as the output pins. In the void loop, we have done the codes to turn the first LED, LED 1 on and off. Similarly, let's do coding to turn the second LED, LED 2 on and off. The digital pin D8 has to be set to high and digital pin D9 has to be set to low. To turn on LED 2, and the digital pin D8 and D9 has to be set to low to turn off the LED 2. For that, just copy these codes from line 14 to 19 and paste it below. All we have to do is change the pin numbers to 8 and 9. Finally, let's do coding to turn the third LED, LED 3 on and off. The digital pin D11 has to be set to high and digital pin D12 has to be set to low. This is to turn on LED 3. The digital pin D11 and D12 has to be set to low to turn off LED 3. For that, move to the next line and just paste the code again. Now we only need to change the pin numbers to 11 and 12. Click on Start Simulation. Wow, isn't that beautiful? So first, the red LED turns on and off. Then the blue LED turns on and off. And then the green LED turns on and off. Well, you can also adjust the on and off time of the LED by just changing the delay time. Well dear, try it out yourself. Well dear, that's how you design a circuit in Tinkercad using text coding. It's actually really simple once you start practicing it. Well, that was really a fascinating session. But this is only a beginning. Much more exciting things are waiting for you. By the end of this session, you will try to design a circuit for something much more fascinating. So dear, wait for it. By then, practice all that you have learned in today's session. Until we meet again, bye!